Anna walked toward the old barn at the edge of town. The evening wind pushed dry leaves across the dirt road. The barn looked tired and crooked, like it wanted to sink into the ground. Its red paint had peeled away in long strips and the wood smelled damp. Most people stayed away from it because they said it felt wrong inside. Anna still came every day because she could not ignore what she had heard. She carried a small bag that felt heavier than it should. Inside were a bottle of water, a few wrapped rolls, and a clean cloth. Her fingers gripped the bag tight, like it was the only steady thing in her life. She kept her head down as she walked because she did not want neighbors watching. Even the birds were quiet near the barn, as if they had learned to fear it. Anna stopped a few steps from the door and listened to the silence. A weak sound came from inside, like a soft scratch on wood. Anna breathed out slowly and whispered that she was here again. She did not call a name because she was afraid someone would hear. She looked left and right and saw no one on the road. She moved closer and placed the bag down near the wall. Then she took one step back, like she was giving space to something unseen. A car engine broke the quiet from behind her. Anna turned and saw a police car stopping near the fence. The door opened and a tall officer stepped out with a dog beside him. The officer had a calm face, but his eyes were sharp and focused. The dog was strong and trained, with a dark coat and bright, watchful eyes. Its leash was short, and the officer held it with practiced control. The officer walked up slowly and kept his voice steady. He asked why she was here and what she was doing at the barn. Anna felt her throat tighten and her mouth go dry. She tried to answer, but her thoughts collided like broken glass. She said she was only checking something, and it was not a problem. The officer did not look convinced, and he looked at the barn door. The dog stopped moving and stared hard at the barn. Its ears lifted and its body went stiff like a board. A low sound formed in its throat and it leaned forward. The officer noticed and tightened his grip on the leash. He told Anna to step back and keep her hands where he could see them. Anna took a small step back, but her eyes stayed locked on the door. The officer asked if anyone else was inside. Anna shook her head too fast, and that made the officer look closer. Her face showed worry more than fear, like she was protecting someone. The officer looked at the barn again and took one step toward it. The dog pulled once, like it wanted to rush in. Anna froze because she knew the dog was sensing the truth. A loud bang came from inside the barn. It sounded like something hit the wall then slid down. The dog lunged forward hard and dragged the officer a full step. Dust jumped from the ground as the paws dug in. The officer pulled back and gave a short command to stop. The dog obeyed, but it kept staring at the door with tense focus. Anna felt her heart pound in her ears. She wanted to explain, but she feared what would happen if she did. The officer asked again what was going on. Anna said there was an animal inside and it was scared. The officer asked what kind of animal and why she did not call for help. Anna swallowed and said it was not that simple. The dog sniffed the air and moved its nose toward the crack under the door. Its tail was stiff and its breathing was fast but controlled. The officer crouched slightly and listened for another sound. For a moment the barn was quiet again. Then a faint cry came through the wood, like a soft broken note. Anna shut her eyes because that sound always hurt her. The officer stood up straighter and his face changed. He asked if a person was inside. Anna opened her eyes and her lips shook. She tried to speak, but her voice failed. The dog pulled again and the leash went tight. The officer stepped closer and told Anna to stay behind him. Anna did not move because her legs felt weak. She remembered the first night she heard the crying. She had been walking home after buying bread from the small shop. The road was empty and the lights were dim in that part of town. She heard a sound like someone begging, but very faint. She followed it and reached the barn with fear in her chest. She had pushed the door a little and called out softly. The smell inside had been sharp, like old hay and wet wood. In the corner she had seen a shape move behind a stack of boards. A small face had looked out with wide eyes and a dirty cheek. Anna had stepped back and asked who was there. The voice had said, "Please do not tell anyone." Anna had not run away because she could not. She had thought of her own little brother long ago when they had little food. She had thought of how fear can make people hide from the world. She had promised to bring water and something to eat. The person had not come close but had taken the food when she stepped away. Anna had returned the next day and the next and the next. Now the officer was here, and the dog was ready to break in. Anna knew that hiding could not last forever. She also knew the person inside might not trust anyone else. The officer placed his hand near the door and tested it gently. The old latch rattled and the door trembled. The dog gave a short sharp sound like a warning. The officer stepped back and spoke in a calm loud voice. He said whoever was inside should come out slowly and no one would be harmed. The barn stayed silent for a few long breaths. Then another soft cry came and it sounded closer than before. Anna lifted her hands a little, as if she could comfort the air. She said, "Please, it is okay, you can come out now." The dog pulled hard again and the officer had to brace his feet. Anna watched the leash stretch and saw the dog fighting its training. The dog was not acting wild, but it was acting urgent. It smelled something that meant danger or distress. The officer looked at Anna and saw tears in her eyes. He asked her if she had been feeding someone in there. Anna nodded once very slowly. Her voice finally came out thin but clear. She said she did not know who they were, but they were alone and afraid. She said she did not want them to be punished for hiding. The officer took a deep breath and softened his tone. He said his job was to keep people safe and he needed the truth. Another bang hit the wall inside and the dog lunged with full force. This time the officer could not hold it back without moving. The dog rushed to the door and pressed its weight against it. The old wood groaned and the latch shook harder. Anna gasped and stepped forward without thinking. The officer raised a hand and told her to stop right there. The door suddenly shifted from inside like someone pushed it weakly. A small gap opened and a pale hand appeared between the boards. The hand shook and pulled back fast. The dog stopped lunging and stared at the gap like it was a doorway to a secret. The officer leaned forward and spoke gently to the person inside. He said he would not come in if they came out slowly. Anna stood with her chest tight and her eyes wide. She knew the next moment would change everything. The dog did not bark now, but it would not relax either. The barn smelled of fear and dust and old hay. Anna whispered again that it was okay and she was right here. And then something moved toward the light from inside the barn. The small figure slowly came closer to the open space of the barn. Soft light from outside touched a thin face and tired eyes. The person looked young and very weak from days of hiding. Anna felt her heart sink as she saw how little strength was left. The officer held his position and kept his voice calm and low. The dog watched every movement but did not make a sound. The young person took one slow step out of the shadows. Their clothes were worn and covered in dust and old straw. Their hands stayed raised in front of their chest. Fear showed clearly in their eyes like a trapped animal. Anna took a small step forward but stopped when the officer lifted a hand. The air felt heavy like everyone was holding their breath. The officer asked for their name in a gentle tone. The young person said their name was Leo. Their voice was shaky but it carried through the quiet. Anna whispered the name softly like she was learning it. The dog shifted its weight but stayed still. Leo looked at the dog with wide eyes and slow, careful breaths. The officer asked why Leo was hiding in the barn. Leo looked down at the ground and did not answer at first. Anna could see how much fear lived inside that small frame. Leo finally said they had nowhere else to go. The officer nodded slowly as if he understood that feeling. The wind brushed against the barn walls with a soft sound. Leo took another step out into the open. The light showed marks of long nights without sleep. Anna felt tears build in her eyes but she did not let them fall. The dog sniffed the air and relaxed just a little. The officer lowered his shoulders when he saw no threat. Leo looked at Anna with a small spark of hope. Anna said she brought food and water every day. Leo nodded and said it helped them stay strong. The officer looked at the bag on the ground. He realized Anna had been caring for someone in secret. The moment felt quiet, but full of truth. The dog sat down slowly as if sensing peace. Leo said they ran away after losing their home. They said they did not know where else to go. Anna felt the pain behind those simple words. The officer kept listening without judgment. Leo said they were afraid of being alone again. The barn no longer felt empty now. The officer knelt down so he was not so tall. He told Leo they were safe now. Leo looked unsure but wanted to believe. Anna moved closer and stood beside the officer. She gave Leo a small warm smile. The dogs stayed calm and still. Leo slowly lowered their hands. Their shoulders relaxed for the first time. The cold air touched their skin and made them shiver. Anna offered the bag and Leo took it with care. The officer watched closely but did not stop them. Leo drank the water with quick, thankful sips. The sound of drinking was soft but full of relief. Leo ate a small piece of food with shaking hands. Anna felt her chest ease as she saw them eat. The officer stood quietly and gave them space. The dog looked away for a moment as if satisfied. The barn felt less scary now. The officer asked Leo where they came from. Leo said it was a small place far from town. They said it was no longer safe for them there. Anna listened closely to every word. The officer nodded with understanding. The air felt warmer between them. Leo said they only wanted a place to feel calm. Anna felt those words deep inside her heart. The officer said everyone deserves a safe place. Leo looked at him with surprise. The dog wagged its tail just a little. Hope slowly filled the space. The officer told Leo he would help find a better place. Leo looked unsure but hopeful. Anna said she would not leave Leo alone. The three stood together near the barn. The wind moved gently around them. The moment felt like a new beginning. The officer asked Leo if they were hurt. Leo shook their head slowly. They said they were just tired and scared. Anna felt a strong need to protect them. The dog sat closer to Leo now. The tension had faded. Leo took another step forward. They stood fully outside the barn now. The sunlight touched their face softly. Anna smiled through her tears. The officer let out a slow breath. The world felt quiet and kind. The barn door moved gently behind them. It no longer felt like a place of fear. It felt like a place where something had been found. Anna looked at Leo with warmth. The officer placed a hand on his radio. He prepared to call for help. Leo asked if they would be taken away. The officer shook his head. He said they would be taken somewhere safe. Anna nodded in support. The dog stood up and walked closer. Leo did not step back. Leo reached out and touched the dog softly. The dog stayed calm and friendly. Anna felt her heart melt at the sight. The officer smiled slightly. Trust was growing fast. The fear was fading. The sky above the barn turned a soft orange. Evening was coming slowly. Anna knew this was the moment that changed everything. Leo looked stronger already. The officer stood ready to guide them. The dog stayed close. Together they walked away from the barn. The old building stood quiet behind them. It had kept a secret for many days. Now that secret was no longer alone. Anna felt proud of what she had done. A new chapter had begun. Anna walked beside Leo as they moved away from the barn. The soft dirt road felt long but calm under their steps. The officer stayed close with the dog moving quietly at his side. Leo kept looking around like the world felt new again. The sky slowly turned darker with soft evening colors. A gentle peace followed them down the road. Leo held the bag of food and water with care. It felt like a treasure after so many hungry days. Anna kept glancing at Leo to make sure they were still there. The officer spoke quietly into his radio. The dog stayed alert but relaxed. The sound of their footsteps felt steady and safe. They reached a small building near the edge of town. Warm light shined through the windows. Leo stopped for a moment and felt nervous again. Anna touched Leo on the arm to give comfort. The officer opened the door slowly. The air inside felt warm and clean. Leo stepped inside with careful feet. The room was simple but bright. There was a chair, a table, and a soft blanket. Leo looked around with wide eyes. Anna smiled when she saw Leo relax. The dog lay down near the door. The officer offered Leo a seat. Leo sat down slowly as if unsure. The blanket was placed around Leo with care. Anna could see how tired Leo truly was. The warmth made Leo feel calm. The moment felt gentle and quiet. The officer asked if Leo felt safe. Leo nodded slowly with honest eyes. Anna felt her heart soften. The dog let out a small calm breath. Outside, the evening air moved gently. Inside, everything felt still. Leo talked about the long nights in the barn. They spoke about cold and fear and waiting. Anna listened with tears in her eyes. The officer listened with deep focus. The dog stayed near Leo. The story filled the room. Leo said Anna was the only light in the dark. Anna felt both sad and proud. She had only wanted to help. The officer nodded with respect. The dog wagged its tail softly. The truth felt strong. The officer said Leo would be given a place to stay. Leo looked surprised and hopeful. Anna smiled with joy. The dog stood and moved closer. The room felt warmer. The future felt brighter. Leo held the blanket tightly. It was soft and clean. Anna could see peace on Leo's face. The officer made a call quietly. The dog rested its head on the floor. Everything felt safe. A kind helper arrived at the building. She spoke softly and smiled. Leo looked at her with trust. Anna felt relief in her heart. The officer explained the situation. The helper nodded. Leo was given a warm drink. They held it with both hands. Steam rose slowly. Anna watched with a gentle smile. The dog stayed calm. The air felt full of care. The helper told Leo they would rest for now. Leo nodded with tired eyes. Anna felt proud of Leo's courage. The officer stood nearby. The dog stayed close. The moment was calm. Leo lay down on a soft bed. The blanket covered them. Their eyes slowly closed. Anna felt tears fall gently. The officer looked at her kindly. The dog stayed quiet. Anna whispered that Leo was safe. Leo smiled softly before resting. The room felt peaceful. The officer stepped back. The dog followed him. The world outside waited. Anna stayed by Leo's side for a moment. She did not want to leave yet. The helper stood quietly. The air felt warm. The future felt hopeful. Leo rested. Outside, the sky grew dark. Stars began to shine. Anna stepped out with the officer. The dog walked beside them. The night felt calm. The fear was gone. The barn was far behind now. A new path had opened. Anna felt lighter inside. The officer felt proud. The dog felt peaceful. The journey continued. Anna woke up early the next morning with a quiet heart. Soft light entered her small room. Her thoughts were still on Leo. She wondered if Leo had slept well. The memory of the barn felt far away now. A new feeling of hope filled her. The town slowly came to life. Birds moved through the trees. Anna walked toward the small building again. The air was cool and fresh. Her steps were light. Her heart was full. Inside the building, Leo was awake. They sat on the bed holding a warm cup. Their face looked brighter. The night of rest had helped. The helper smiled kindly. The room felt peaceful. Anna stepped inside quietly. Leo looked up and smiled. Their eyes were full of gratitude. Anna felt warmth in her chest. The helper nodded gently. The moment felt kind. Leo said thank you in a soft voice. Anna said she was glad Leo was safe. Their smiles met. The air felt light. The past fear felt far away. The future felt near. The officer arrived with the dog. Both looked calm and proud. The dog walked to Leo slowly. Leo reached out without fear. The touch was gentle. Trust was clear. The officer said a safe place had been found. Leo looked surprised and happy. Anna held her hands together. The helper smiled. The dog wagged its tail. Joy filled the room. Leo would go to a place where people cared. A place with food and warm beds. A place with kind voices. Anna felt relief. The officer felt proud. The dog felt calm. Leo stood up with new strength. Their steps were steady. Anna watched with a smile. The helper gathered small things. The room stayed warm. The journey continued. Outside the sun was bright. The town felt friendly. Leo walked with Anna and the officer. The dog stayed close. Every step felt safe. The fear was gone. The old barn was far behind now. It no longer held pain. It was just a building again. Anna felt peace. Leo felt strong. The future felt open. They reached a small vehicle. The door opened slowly. Leo stepped inside. Anna gave a gentle wave. The officer nodded. The dog stayed calm. Leo looked back with a thankful smile. Anna felt her eyes grow wet. But her heart was happy. The helper spoke softly. The vehicle was ready. The road waited. As the vehicle moved away, Leo watched the town fade. They felt safe for the first time in a long while. Anna stood quietly. The officer stayed near. The dog sat beside them. The day was bright. Anna knew she had done the right thing. A small act had changed a life. The officer felt proud of his work. The dog had followed its heart. Leo had found a new start. Everything felt right. The sky stayed clear. The town felt warm. The story of the barn had ended. A new story had begun. Hope filled every space. Peace remained.